How do we get more people registered and voting? Well, states across the country are already working on it, and it's called automatic voter registration. Here's what you need to know.
Automatic voter registration, in a sense, it goes from opt-in to opt-out, meaning that instead of being asked a question of would you like to register to vote, when a person interacts with a government agency, they are not asked anymore. They are informed that the information that they provide will be used to register them to vote or update their voter registration unless they decline.
As I have said many times, your vote is your voice, and every single voice matters. Under this proposal, more voices will be heard.
The first state to pass it, and then also the first state to have it implemented, and then have it implemented during a primary and a general election. Some of the numbers that have come out of Oregon from 2016 is that about 226,000 people got registered through automatic voter registration. About 100,000 of those folks went and voted in the 2016 elections. We found that those who were registered through AVR were more likely to live in suburban rather than urban areas, more likely to live in low to middle income areas, more likely to live in low education areas, and more likely to live in racially diverse areas. And so you see that cross-section of what happens when automatic voter registration is implemented in a state.
We are stronger when every New Jerseyan has a say in the future of their community and this state. And we are fairer when we break down barriers that have kept some from being able to use their voice.
In terms of voting and making sure that everyone is included in the process, and the easier we can make it, it takes down those barriers to say why not.
Any efforts to restrict democracy are not the America I know, and we have to push back hard against that. And yes, you're right, more often than not you see Democrats pushing back harder, but it shouldn't be that way. This should be an American objective as opposed to a particular political objective. I'm a proud Democrat. But as the chief executive of the state, I want to call balls and strikes. I want to make sure that we've got the best systems in place that give everybody a shot. And so I don't care if you're registering whether you're Democrat or Republican, independent, man on the moon. I don't really care. Participation in democracy is the key to a better state and a better country, period. But let there be no doubt, the Republican playbook, unfortunately, has devolved into shutting democracy down wherever possible. They don't like the way America is headed in terms of the explosion of youth, the demographic shifts, the embracing increasingly of a more and not less diverse America. I want to be on the right side of history, and I think we are by doing this.
It's important that we make sure everyone stays engaged in the process and we're not creating barriers to stop people from being able to participate in our democracy.
We want to do more. We want physical early voting. I'd like to have same-day registration. I'd like to have online registration. I want to be able to get somebody who's 17 at the primary but 18 by the general to be able to vote in that primary. We want to explore a smart way to get voting rights for ex-offenders. So there's a number of steps. Automatic voter registration is a huge step. It puts us in good company at long last, but we want to do a lot more.
Automatic voter registration could be the future, but it isn't everywhere yet, which is why it's so important to make sure you're registered to vote. Visit 18by18.com to find out how. Do it now, please.